Today I'm drafting a team, but I'm only allowed to select former SEC players. And if the team I build doesn't at least win a playoff game, I have to buy this Madden pack and discard whatever I pull for the absolute bare minimum. That means I might have to potentially discard a card worth over 1 million coins. So it is vital we actually get one of the better picks here. Just please don't tell me we pick at the end of the first round and we got pick number 6. I'll take that. And unfortunately, it looks like we're not gonna get Tua. I've just gotta make sure I make the best picks possible so I don't have to discard a potential 1 million plus coin card. Now I have to say off the get-go, a very good pick could potentially be Justin Jefferson from LSU. But with this being my first and probably most important pick, I don't need to jump the gun too quick. I need to make sure I weigh all my options, which obviously I probably need to look at the quarterback position. So Dak Prescott is available, and he did play at Mississippi State. And also, I could take Jalen Hurts, who did play at Alabama. Yeah, I know he transferred, but all the players we picked today just had to play for an SEC school for at least one season. So honestly, it's either Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, or I just go ahead and get Justin Jefferson. Gosh, dude, this is just the first of like 50 picks I'm gonna make, and it's already so difficult. Now, the problem is if I don't go Dak or Jalen Hurts, the fall off at quarterback is insane. Like, the next best quarterback I can take is Matthew Stafford. Oh my gosh, dude. I might actually have to go quarterback here because I wouldn't have any other good options. Oh, this is so tough, dude. Like, do I actually pass up on Justin Jefferson? I might have to. Because a wide receiver, if I pass on Justin Jefferson, I can still get an A.J. Brown. I can still get a Jamar Chase. I think the best bet right here is to go with one of these two quarterbacks. Now, the question is, do I go Jalen Hurts or do I go with Dak Prescott? And honestly, I think I'm gonna go with Jalen Hurts simply because he is a superstar X Factor. I just hope to God this wasn't the wrong pick. And now our next pick isn't until the end of the second round. Hopefully one of those good receivers are still available. Like, there's still 99 rated players across the board. Like, right now, I can get Nick Chubb, I can get Derrick Henry. Chris Jones is another one that could be super solid out of Mississippi State. But I do want to go see what the wide receiver position is looking like. Oh no, dude, the next best receiver that I can take here is Christian Kirk. And after that, the next best one's Calvin Ridley. Oh no. Honestly, I think our best bet here with this pick, I feel like these running backs will fall just a bit. I feel like we go ahead and shore up the defensive line, but do we go with Quinnen Williams from Alabama, who is a scheme fit? Or I could go with a higher rated player in Chris Jones, who does have a superstar X Factor. This is a tough one. I'm just gonna go Chris Jones, bro. He is gonna be our second pick, which apparently Madden thinks was a good one. And as we move into our third round pick here, I have to say, if we don't at least build an 85 overall team, I've got to find another pack in the Madden store to discard. So we do have a ton on the line here. And honestly, I think the best thing I could do here, since Nick Chubb just got taken, we have got to have a solid running back on our offense. Derrick Henry 100% is going to be the selection here. And again, Madden even thinks I made a good pick. Now we don't get to pick until the end of the fourth round. Now, off the get-go, the best player that's available that I could pick here would be Tyrann Mathieu, free safety, which he is a scheme fit. So I need to be smart about this again and weigh my options. Like, wide receiver, I feel like could potentially be a big problem because Christian Kirk's already gone. Calvin Ridley is our best bet so far, but I don't want to take Calvin Ridley right now when there's other options. Jerry Jeudy's an option for us, a receiver. Odell Beckham Jr. Golly, dude, this is gonna be rough. Honestly, for me, I think the best bet is just to go ahead and take the highest rated former SEC player on the board. That's the Honey Badger. We're gonna take him. I'm on a roll here, dude. Madden normally thinks all my picks are bad. Now, what the heck are we gonna do here with our fifth round pick? Highest former SEC player on the board right now is way me way down there. It's Trey Smith, which I mean, I guess I could potentially take me a nice offensive lineman, but I feel like this is a point where we need to probably go defense, and the cornerback position is not looking good at all. Golly, dude, right now, things are not looking good for yours truly. I think, again, my best bet is just to go with Trey Smith. And just looking at the board, dude, I just know I'm in so much trouble. Now, all the way here at the end of the 6th round, like, all the good players at this point are pretty much gone. Like, there's still talent, though. There's still talent. I don't need to freak out just yet. Like, the wide receiver position, please tell me. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. Odell Beckham Jr. is literally my best bet right now at receiver. Like, again, I could go George Pickens, or do I go ahead and find myself a corner to draft? Which at this point, it's freaking Patrick Peterson as my best option. Dude, how am I gonna end up winning a playoff game? Honestly, fellas, I think I'm going to go ahead and go once again with an offensive lineman. Trent Brown out of Florida, I think by far is the best bet. We're going to grab him. I told you guys Madden was going to eventually think we made a bad pick. Gosh, dude, look at who just went with the last pick. I mean, at least I think Odell Beckham Jr., being as old as he is, he'll probably be on the board for a while. But after that, the best receiver on the board is Elijah Moore. Now, the tight end position, if I don't take Evan Ingram, Dawson Knox is the next best pick. Hunter Henry could be an option, or do I just go ahead and get myself a solid tight end? And I think I'm just gonna go ahead and pull the trigger on Evan Ingram. Oh, great, back-to-back bad picks. See, there's positions like middle linebacker. The best available player is Devin White. Like, do I go ahead and get myself a Devin White to shore up the linebacker core? And like here at left outside linebacker, bro, my best option's Justin Houston. Oh my God. Oh no, dude, and Odell Beckham Jr. got taken. Oh my God, I am gonna be screwed at receiver. Like, at this point, the options I have at receiver, we have Josh Palmer, Elijah Moore, Josh Reynolds. We might have to run the ball 17,000 times with Derrick Henry this season. But I think here with our round 8 pick, you might think it's a little wild. Grant Delpit is a guy I had my eye on here. He's super solid, but I think I want to inject a little bit more youth, and I believe we're going to go with Brian Branch, the rookie out of Alabama. And I have to admit, fellas, that looks absolutely nothing like him. Hopefully, we can find a solid selection here to really round out our top 10 picks. And unfortunately, at this point, you don't even see a former SEC player on the big board until the 20th player in Daron Payne. And I think we're going to go ahead and pull the trigger at the middle linebacker position and get the man I wanted a few rounds ago. I'm glad he's still here, but let's welcome Devin White to the squad. Another good pick. I just don't know what this team's overall is going to end up. Like, I don't think we're going to be able to hit that 85 mark. But now time to focus on our 10th round selection. Like, do I just go ahead and make sure I get myself a half decent receiver? And honestly, as disgusting as it is, I think I'm just going to go ahead and pull the trigger. I've got to get myself some half decent competent receivers to throw to. I can't believe I just took Elijah Moore in the 10th round. Now, with our next selection, I think I'm going to go on the offensive line, and I'm going to grab ourselves a center and go with Eric McCoy from Texas A&M. Don't mind myself an 83 rated center, although he looks like a terrible pick according to Madden. I can make that up, though. We only have about 40 more players to pick. And for our 12th pick, I'm going to stay on the offensive line because if I don't take La'el Collins here, I'm kind of screwed. So yes, La'el Collins out of LSU is going to be our selection. Why do they think that's such a bad pick? Now, unfortunately, here in round 13, I think it's finally time I go after a cornerback, and Patrick Peterson's still there. Like, I know he's an old man. Like, I know he's 33 years old, but he's probably our best bet at this point, unless he's stuck around for a little while, which I think he might be available a few rounds down the line, but I just cannot be risking it because if I don't get myself a half-decent corner, bro, our secondary is going to be screwed. So yeah, he's a bad pick, but I really don't care. I haven't selected one defensive end yet, and I'm kind of scared to see who is even available at this point, although there's some talent. And although he's old, I think getting an 80 rated this late in the draft is actually pretty solid. So let's go ahead and welcome ourselves Danico Autry, even though apparently I took him 200 picks too early. And you know what? Since we're here, like, he's the top SEC player on the board. I know I already have a decent defensive tackle, but Fletcher Cox, probably nobody even close to his talent level. Even Madden thinks it was a good pick. Oh no, dude, we need a left guard, and there's not an SEC player until 74 rated AJ. I mean, I guess I could technically take a right guard and move him over, or maybe I could just find the highest rated former SEC player and play him at right guard, because I gotta be strategic here. Honestly, my best bet is to probably go with Ryan Kelly at the center position and move him over to right guard, former Alabama player. Don't mind if I do. Why is that such a bad pick? You want to know what makes me happy? SeatGeek. The best sporting events, concerts, and more, all at the grasp of your fingertips. Which I'd like to thank SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video. I mean, you guys should know every single sporting event I've been to for the past 5 years, every single event, I've gotten my tickets from SeatGeek. Except this Taylor Swift concert, that wasn't for me. And with all the sporting seasons in full force over the holidays, you don't want to miss out, and with SeatGeek you won't, because they literally have tickets to every single game. They put all the tickets across the internet in one place to make sure you're getting the best deal possible, and they give each ticket for sale a rating so you know whether or not you're getting a good or a stinky deal. And you know I had to help you guys out, because if you use my promo code RBT, you get $20 off your tickets at SeatGeek. Again, that's $20 off your first purchase of tickets at SeatGeek if you use promo code RBT, and make sure to click the link in the description box below to download the SeatGeek app. I think it's time we once again evaluate the wide receiver position and see what we can go with here. I mean, we could take Josh Reynolds, but like, is it worth it? Or I could look down the list a little bit more and see if there's anybody I'm interested in, like maybe a Traylon Burks. Like, he does have star development. Like, this might be a bad pick, but I need to get some talented young receiver on the squad. And even Madden thinks that one was solid. Getting close to 20 picks in, but yet we're not even halfway done yet. And I do know I need another defensive end, especially on the right side, so like, why not take the best one available in Leonard Floyd out of Georgia? Like, these next 30 plus picks that we make here are really gonna determine whether or not this team even makes the playoffs to give me a chance to even win a playoff game. We don't have a single outside linebacker yet, and the talent that's there is disgusting. Like, we're at the point where I'm actually taking a player that used to play at Vanderbilt. Zach Cunningham, you're gonna be our pick. I really don't have many other good options. Apparently it was a stinky pick. Now, we made it to round 20, and I only have one cornerback at this point, which is not ideal. Oh gosh, the talent is so bad. The next cornerback out of an SEC team is so far down here. Golly, dude. Like, do I really have to go with a guy named Darion Kendrick? Like, he's a youngster, whatever. I gotta take him. I have to. Like, I got to. We are still in desperate need for a left outside linebacker, and again, man, I'm just gonna go with the top guy, Justin Houston. He's 34 years old at this point, but I have no other options. There's 1,000 players ranked higher? Like, at this point, dude, the average age for my team might be 37. Do you think it's time, though, that we get a third receiver? And it is not looking good, dude. It is not looking good at all. Like, I might just have to go with Isaiah McKenzie. Like, there's really no other options. Out of Georgia, he's the pick. I cannot believe how bad my receiving core is gonna be. Honestly, at this point, man, Kareem Jackson's the top player on the board. He's not gonna start a strong safety for me, but I'm gonna take him. Maybe I can convert him and he play a little corner for me. And I gotta remember, at some point, I'm gonna have to take a backup quarterback. And let me tell you, boys, talent's not looking too solid. Drew Lock would be my best option at this point. You know what? I could inject a little bit of youth into this team. A rookie here in Jalen Hyatt to be our fourth receiver. Honestly, if I was Jalen Hyatt, I would be pissed if that's what they had me looking like. God, I'm gonna have to get a third cornerback, and there's just nobody that's good. Although, I can take Janoris Jenkins because he did play at Florida before I think he got kicked off the team. So let's keep adding to our old person's home. 1,200 players ranked ahead of him. Jesus. At this point, dude, there's literally only 3 players left that even have a star development. So, like, why not just go ahead and give myself a half-decent, young, talented backup free safety? Even though he's not a high overall, Madden thinks he's a good pick. And you know what? We can get ourselves another young cornerback. Ringo here out of Georgia. Georgia. That's some good cornerback depth. Now, we for sure need another inside linebacker. Now, Quan Alexander might be the best pick because he is a scheme fit out of LSU. Also, Rashaan Evans wouldn't be a bad pick either. Although I think Alexander's the more complete linebacker. He's a little bit older, so I think we are going to go with the former LSU man. And Madden agrees. Bro, what is on his arm? Hey, look at who just got picked. I used to have a ping pong class with him in college. So our last selection here before we make it to round 30. And at this point, I'm really just drafting for depth. But if I pick right, this is still where I can make my team so much better. Can add a little bit more talent to defensive tackle position. Taven Bryan out of Florida. Gosh, the talent at running back is so bad, and we still do need a backup to Derrick Henry, and they are just so bad. I cannot believe this is the year 2023, about to be 2024, and I am literally drafting Kenyon Drake to be Derrick Henry's backup. Like, is there even another receiver on the board that I'm halfway interested in drafting? Honestly, not really. Wait a second, I can't forget, dude. I can't believe I'm disrespecting him. I gotta eventually draft a kicker, but oh God, the best kicker that I could possibly draft. Oh no, dude, way down here, Evan McPherson. Like, do I just go ahead and draft Evan McPherson? I mean, he is a superstar. I mean, hey, why the frick not? I mean, I also need a punter too, and I guess at this point, nah, I gotta get J.K. Scott. I'm a Bama fan, so like, I have a little bit of bias here. He was amazing at Bama, so yeah, I'm gonna take him. At least Madden likes our special teams picks. And speaking of some of my favorite players, dude, just why not? Why not add Julio Jones to the roster? Gonna finally get you a ring, Julio. Now, my options for backup tight end is not looking too good. Literally, my best bet is O.J. Howard, but I feel like he'll stay on the board for a while. I also need some depth on the defensive line, so Jonathan Bullard here, he's not 40 years old, so at this point, like, that's the best criteria I can go off of. And since we're really creating an old person's home here, why not go ahead and add Melvin Ingram, an outside linebacker out of South Carolina. And golly, dude, I could still draft myself a superstar fullback, but I just can't. Like, my best option is freaking blasting game down here. And I guess, honestly, bro, at this point, I just need to get myself a backup tight end because before I know it, O.J. Howard could get drafted, and my next best option would be a 40 overall. For some reason, they love O.J. I guess here, I'm just going to go with the highest rated SEC player on the board. There's actually a 26-year-old, 72 overall scheme fit cornerback out of South Carolina we got. And obviously, we're going to need offensive line depth, so why not take the highest rated offensive lineman left in Ben Jones out of Georgia? I mean, we can use one more defensive end, Carlos Dunlap again, another player that's over 34 years old. And honestly, I'm at the point where I need to draft a backup quarterback, and honestly, my best bet is freaking Jarrett Stidham. Absolutely unfreaking believable. I mean, I at least need one more decent running back, so Keyshawn Vaughn, we get another player that went to Vanderbilt. He does not look happy to be here. Terrell Lewis out of Alabama is where we're at, dude. My only criteria, he was under 35 years old, which in my book made him a great pick. At this point, dude, like, screw it, man. We need a fullback, so we're gonna take him eventually. So blasting game, welcome back to Tennessee. Like, we might actually have more players than Vanderbilt than anybody else aside from Bama. Brother, John Bostic is still in the NFL? Dude, I thought he was at least 40 at this point, and apparently he's an incredible player. I'm actually drafting a guy named Lester Cotton Sr. And dude, he's just been sitting there for so long. We haven't drafted, I don't think, a single player from Kentucky, so why not get one of the best players in Kentucky history in Randall Cobb? I need at least one more tight end, so I guess Lawrence Kager's gonna be the guy. Hopefully we don't need him to block. I mean, I guess a 6 corner wouldn't hurt. We are one selection away from making it to round 50, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't think we've made it to an 85 overall team. We still could use a little offensive line depth, and my best option here is Greg Little, and he definitely doesn't look little. We literally only have a few more picks before we get to reveal the teams overall. Oh my gosh, I'm picking Dennis Daly just because he was absolutely terrible for the Titans last year. We'll take one more offensive lineman. I'm actually drafting a 63 rated defensive end. What do you mean? Yo, there's still still a 73 rated offensive lineman in Jason Peters that we can take. My God, do talk about bumping up the average age. And talk about bumping up the average age, I guess we can take ourselves another decent running back. And apparently that was our last pick because the draft just ended. But the moment of truth, our team's overall comes in at, oh no, dude, an 84 overall. But hold on a second, we can still move a few things around. Like, first of all, Ryan Kelly is going to be our starting left guard. And thank God! That saved me from having to discard another Madden pack. But this, my friends, is how the final all-SEC offense looks. I mean, we have some good players thrown in there, but I just don't know about the wide receiver core. And this is your final SEC defense. Actually, it's not, because I wanted to convert Kareem Jackson to cornerback, and he ends up being our second best cornerback on the entire team. Like, there's talent here, don't get me wrong, but there's just so many old players. Well, here we have it, boys. It all comes down to this. We have got to win at least one playoff game to avoid from having to discard a potential 1 million plus coin card. But the first course of action here is to actually make the playoffs. And honestly, I'm expecting probably no more than 9-10 wins. So I think we're going to have to sneak in with a wild card spot. Yes! Yes! So my friends, not only did we make the playoffs, somehow I got a first round bye. I mean, we literally started the season off with a 7-game winning streak before we lost 2 in a row. But gosh, dude, this is better than I could have ever imagined. We scored 56 points in a game. Unfortunately for me, though, that means we're gonna have to beat a pretty good team in the divisional round. I mean, somehow we came in with the best offense in the entire league. Defensively, not quite as good. But look at Jalen Hurts with 4,200 yards, 43 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. And I knew Derrick Henry was going to be an incredible pick. 1,600 yards with 15 touchdowns. Now, who balled out in our receiving core? We had Elijah Moore with 1,500 yards. What do you mean? You know, not to mention Randall Cobb and Evan Ingram both had 10 receiving touchdowns each. And defensively, we had Leonard Floyd with 11.5 sacks. I was just looking. Yeah, poor Mac Jones throw 28 interceptions this season. And with Jalen Hurts winning league MVP, I think it's safe to say we made the right pick in the first round. And we even had Derrick Henry win Offensive Player of the Year. But now time to determine whether or not we can at least complete the challenge and win one playoff game. We only have to beat the 9-8 Browns. Before we do this, best believe I'll use every upgrade possible. We'll take the upgrade for 45-year-old Patrick. I want to do some scouting. They have Christian McCaffrey and Dak Prescott, who, hilarious enough, was our other option to take in the first round. So I'm really hoping he's not looking out for some revenge. And we should have played the Browns in the regular season, so I want to see how that turned out. We beat them in Cleveland in week 3, so this should be no problem. Come on, please, dude. Don't let me down. Not only do I want to win this, I want to win the Super Bowl. We lost? What do you mean, dude? I mean, you really can't ask much more than that. We gave up 4 rushing touchdowns. Oh my God, dude. After all of that, we get beat by the 7 seed. And wow, that 7 seed ended up winning the freaking Super Bowl. And because we lost, I have to discard whatever the heck we get out of this pack. Like, this could be a player worth more than 1 million coins. I am kind of hoping this is just a 90 overall that we get. Please don't be a 93. Please don't be a 94. Thank God. Like, he's still an 80,000 coin card that I have to list up for the bare minimum, which is about 10,000 coins. But even though we ended up losing our playoff game, I'm proud that we got the 1 seed with this team. Now, hopefully you enjoyed enough to subscribe to the channel, and if you did, you can click right here to watch another video that I know you'll enjoy just as much as this one.